Today we're joined by Georgie Thompson, the face of Shaw Men, sponsor of the Lotus Formula One team. Georgie, how are you today?
Very well, thank you, Sam.
Very good. So, Formula One circuit is coming to Silverstone this year, this month even.
Yeah.
And you've had an experience of it last year. Tell us what that was like.
The British Grand Prix is brilliant for fans. It always brings out the most hardcore Formula One fans who don't care whether, it's raining, snowing, windy, whatever. They're always going to turn out with their camp stuff and, their tents and their barbecues, and they just get on with it. They just love it. It's a brilliant, brilliant weekend.
So definitely pack your wellies, whatever happens.
That and a cagoule.
Of course. What about for the British drivers? What did it mean for them?
Oh, it means everything to them. I mean, to be able to race at Silverstone, it's where so many great races have been won and so many great drivers have performed there. I think if you're a British driver, you always want to win on your home patch. I mean, that's part of the allure of being involved in the sport, the fact that you do get to race on your home soil. And each year we hear the same debate as to whether Silverstone's going to go ahead again, and it always is. It's a real stalwart of British racing. It's the home of motorsport.
You've had a whole year of covering Formula One now, and now you're involved quite heavily with Lotus.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, well, I got involved with Lotus because they're involved with Shaw Men. So we started this campaign, and I mean, it's the most brilliant opportunity, because the one thing you learn about Formula One and being involved in Formula One is that these cars are so impossibly hard to drive. You've only got 20 odd drivers on the grid, which goes to show in a global sport just how unique an opportunity it is to be able to get to drive one of these cars. You have to be at the very, very top of your sport to be able to do it. Those drivers get to drive Formula One cars, but for the everyday member of the public, that opportunity is never ever going to happen until this moment, because that's what Shaw Men and Lotus are doing. They're partnering to basically allow Formula One fans, not just 1, 2, 3, but 4 of them, so 1 plus 3 of their mates, to go and drive a Formula One car, a Lotus team car, down at the Paul Ricard circuit in the south of France. So not only do you get to drive a Formula One car alongside your best mates, but you also get to go to the south of France for a weekend, so it's a perfect combination.
That sounds fantastic. Have you ever been behind the wheel of a Formula One car?
I haven't been directly behind the wheel of a Formula One car, but I did have an opportunity to ride with Nigel Mansell around Silverstone a few years back. And it was the most incredible experience, because you are directly behind him and your eyes are directly above his line of sight, so you feel like you are racing that car. And the thing that stunned me more than anything wasn't necessarily the acceleration, because I think you expect that, but it was the braking. It was so hard. So, no sooner had you, reached speeds of 192 miles an hour, which we did, then you'd brake on a sixpence and it'd be like that, just over in a moment. And to get your head round the fact that a Formula One driver does that for 60 odd laps every race, and they've got to look out for, various things that are happening either side of them, in front and behind them, and, be able to convey messages to the team and vice versa, and when they're coming into pit and all that sort of stuff. There is so much going on. And you're obviously Men's Fitness magazine. It's incredible from a fitness perspective. Lotus and I put together what's called the perfect lap, just to show people what goes into making a lap count in Formula One. And there is so many different components, and one of them is all about driver fitness. And it's really hard to understand, unless you're actually sat in one of those cars, what that might feel like in terms of how fit you need to be. Because most people, as an armchair fan, will just think, well, how hard is that? It's driving a car. A whole other level of difficulty.
And which British driver is going to finish highest?
Oh, that's a really tough one, isn't it? Okay, so you've got the Lewis in the Mercedes, you've got Jensen in the McLaren, and you've got Paul di Resta in the Force India. I'm gonna say I think Lewis loves Silverstone. I think Lewis will finish highest, but I couldn't tell you who'll finish highest out of di Resta and Button. And that sort of sums up McLaren's season, which isn't a good thing.
Are you more of a Jensen Button or a Lewis Hamilton kind of girl?
Oh God, you have to sit on this fence or the other. Okay, that's really hard. That's really hard, because they're so different. It's like we were talking about Lotus drivers earlier on, and Kimi and Romain Grosjean. You couldn't get 2 more different people. Like, Romain's the most talkative person in the world, and Kimi just doesn't really say anything. So Jensen and Lewis, they're so very different. Oh no, the pressure of a name. I think Lewis is interesting. He's complex, he's interesting.
Well, Georgie, it was a pleasure speaking to you today.
You too.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you.